It's a crisp, clear Tuesday morning in New York City, September 11th, 2001. The sun glints off the glass of the Twin Towers, reflecting a skyline that seems timeless and strong. Streets are already busy with commuters, delivery trucks, and yellow taxis weaving between buildings. Inside offices, workers sip coffee and start their day, completely unaware of the horrors about to unfold. Meanwhile, at Logan International and another group of hijackers. In those moments, neither the city nor the world suspects the coordinated attacks that are about to strike. At 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 crashes into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, hitting between floors 93 and 99. The force of the impact shatters windows, sends flames and smoke shooting into the sky, and causes debris to rain down onto streets below. People on the sidewalks freeze in shock. Some scream, some flee, while others are glued to the chaos, watching their world unravel. The sound is deafening, a mix of explosions, fire alarms, sirens, and distant shouts. First responders spring into action immediately, racing toward the building despite the smoke and danger. Firefighters, police officers, and paramedics begin guiding people down stairwells and out of the danger zone, knowing that every second counts. Just 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 crashes into the South Tower between floors 77 and 85. The realization hits that this is not an accident. Both towers are under attack, and New York City, the financial capital of the world, is under siege. Smoke and flames pour from both towers, visible for miles. The streets become chaos incarnate. People run in every direction, their clothing and hair coated in dust and ash. Emergency calls flood in, helicopters hover above, and news crews capture the live horror unfolding. Inside the buildings, thousands are trapped above the impact zones, struggling to breathe through smoke, crawl through debris, and descend the narrow staircases that remain. The bravery of ordinary workers, firefighters, and police officers is immediately apparent as they risk their lives to help others escape. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., American Airlines Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. The explosions rip through the western side of the building, creating a massive fire and killing hundreds. Across the country, people watching live coverage begin to understand the scale of the attacks. A fourth hijacked plane, United Airlines Flight 93, is in the air, heading toward an unknown target in Washington. Passengers on Flight 93 make phone calls to loved ones, learning about the other attacks, and bravely attempt to retake control of the plane. Their struggle ultimately prevents further destruction, though the plane tragically crashes into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at 10:03 a.m. Back in New York, at 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapses, sending an enormous cloud of dust and debris over the streets of Lower Manhattan. People who had escaped watch in horror as the building disintegrates into rubble in seconds. The dust and shockwave knock people to the ground. The sound echoes through the city. Less than half an hour later, at 10:28 a.m., the North Tower succumbs to the damage and collapses. The devastation is almost unimaginable. Thousands of tons of steel and concrete fall, burying everything in their path. Emergency workers are caught in the chaos, but continue their efforts, pulling survivors from the wreckage where possible. Families wait anxiously for news of loved ones, praying for miracles amid the ruin. As the dust begins to settle over Lower Manhattan, the city is unrecognizable. Streets are covered in rubble, ash coats every surface, and the air is thick with smoke and the acrid smell of burning steel. Hospitals overflow with injured victims, some suffering from broken bones, severe burns, or smoke inhalation. Yet, amid the horror, stories of heroism emerge. Office workers carry coworkers down dozens of flights of stairs. Strangers hand out water and blankets to those in shock, and first responders dig tirelessly through the debris, refusing to leave anyone behind. News reports show firefighters climbing into the remains of the towers, knowing that each second is a race against time to save lives. The sense of urgency is palpable. The city is mourning, but it is also fighting to survive. Families of the victims wait desperately for word. Thousands of people call missing persons hotlines, searching for loved ones who may have been trapped inside the towers. The tension is unbearable. Across the country, people gather around televisions and radios, trying to grasp the unimaginable events unfolding. Schools, airports, and government offices close, and airspace across the United States is temporarily shut down for the first time in history. From small towns to big cities, people hold vigils and pray, while public spaces overflow with emotion and grief. The scale of the attacks touches everyone, not just the city, but the nation, and eventually the world. In the days and weeks that follow, the full extent of the tragedy becomes clear. Ground Zero becomes a scene of both heartbreak and heroism, as rescue and recovery teams continue to search for survivors and recover the remains of those who perished. The attacks leave nearly 3,000 people dead, thousands more injured, and countless others emotionally scarred. Yet, even in this devastation, human resilience shines. Communities rally to support victims' families, donations and volunteers pour in from around the globe, and memorials and tributes spring up to honor the fallen. September 11th becomes more than just a national tragedy. It becomes a defining moment in world history, a day that demonstrates the fragility of life, the courage of ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances, and the power of unity in the face of unspeakable loss. The world will never forget the images of that morning, the planes, the towers, the smoke, and the heroism that shone through the darkest moments.